Hi guys, Darth Deuce here with another Marvel Legends action figure review. Today I got a cool one to review. I actually found the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man, the original or initial release of Pizza Spider-Man. This is widely considered, I'd say, one of the best, if not like the best, Spider-Man action figure out there, at least in this scale, the 1/12 scale. It hails as being definitely one of the best Spider-Man figures. This came out a few years ago now, so I'm just reviewing this more or less for my pleasure. Give you my thoughts on it personally, but take a look at the packaging first, and it's in sort of the standard Marvel Legends packaging, but you get to see sort of what's neat is I get to see the subtle changes that they made to the packaging over the years. So you got a different kind of look for the Build-A-Figure little logo that they have there. But this is the Build-A-Figure Hobgoblin Spider-Man logo, Marvel Spider-Man. Legends Infinite Series, Spider-Man, not much on the bottom. The Spider-Man image on the side, which I'm pretty sure was the same image for every single figure in this wave. On the back there, you got a product shot, a really brief bio. It says a radioactive spider bite made Peter Parker a superhero, but he still gets hungry. Build-A-Figure collection Hobgoblin. There's the Hobgoblin BAF, which if this wave wasn't so hard to track down, I'd totally build because I actually do really want to get this Hobgoblin. I like that. I like the look of this Hobgoblin. I'm just a big Goblin fan, so that'd be nice to get that at some point. But there's Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, Spider-Man 2099. It's also a pretty popular figure. I think that's Mayday Parker. I'm not 100% sure. There's like a Spider-Woman of some sort. I'm not too familiar with that character. And then Daredevil. So that's pretty much it for the packaging. So I'm going to crack it open, and we'll take a closer look at the figure. Alright, I got the figure out of the packaging, and it's a really cool Spider-Man figure. You can definitely understand why a lot of people, this would be their favorite Spider-Man figures, because it really gives you mostly whatever you'd want out of a Spider-Man figure, for the most part. Mine does suffer from a little bit of QC, but it's not QC issues, but it's not too bad. And since this figure, this body mold has been reused multiple times for multiple Spider-Man, and I will do some comparisons of the ones I do own. But take a look at the head sculpt. I really like the head sculpt. I think it looks really good. Definitely looks like your general friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I like the big white eyes and the black, and it's pretty sharply painted. Looks pretty good. The webbing is just painted on the figure, but it looks pretty clean as well. I like the shade of red and blue they used for the figure as well. I think it looks pretty nice. And the muscle sculpt and definition looks good. The spider looks really good on the front. Spider on the back also looks pretty good. It's got a peg hole at the back there. One thing you'll notice, and I might as well point out right now, is that one of the biggest QC issues I have is that my figure's left hinge joint, double hinge joint, is insanely warped. So his arm should be like straight by his side, and it's bent out like this. I'm gonna have to try to heat that up and fix that, because that's really annoying. That's the biggest QC here. Everything else, not too bad. I mean, he's got a couple blue splotches or scuffs on his belt area there, which is a little unfortunate, but not the biggest end of the world or anything. Legs look good. And you get the feet, which also look really good, and all that webbing is painted really well. There's not too much to go on with paint and detail. It's just a really good looking Spider-Man. I think colors, they're the right colors. It's the right proportions and everything. My only real issue is just the cute little bit of QC issues I have, which I will fix eventually. In terms of articulation, it's a really well articulated figure that you're probably already familiar with. I'll run through it anyways. You get a ball joint in the head, you get a little bit of pivot up, down. Ball hinges at the shoulders move out all the way and they rotate. You get a butterfly joint which moves good, so you move the arms in, you move the arms out. This one's a bit tighter on this side. Swivel at the bicep, double hinges at the elbows, and swivel with a hinge at the wrist. Ab crunch moves good forward and good back. Waist swivel, ball hinges at the hips, move that far out. I would like them to move out a little bit more, but it's not too big a deal. And they kick out pretty far, not really back. Swivel at the thigh, double hinges at the knees, move really well. And hinges at the ankles with rocker joints. So he has a lot of articulation, which is really good for a character that's quite acrobatic. In terms of accessories, he comes with quite a few accessories. First of all, he comes with 3 pairs of interchangeable hands, which equals 6 individual hands, which is pretty awesome. On him right now, my finger's a little warped on this hand, but he does have 2 open hands or wall crawling hands, so that's really cool. Try to get him to stand here. It's being a pain in the ass. He also comes with 2 closed fist hands for punching and whatnot, which is always appreciated for a Spider-Man figure, so that's really awesome, and they have pretty good paint apps for the webbing as well. You get 2 whipping hands. You get you get the BAF piece, I almost forgot. You get the left leg of Hobgoblin. You get a really cool half unmasked head. I really enjoy this head. I think that looks really cool. See his face, he's smiling. I think that's awesome. And the best accessory is he comes with a pizza slice, which is why this figure gets the nickname of Pizza Spider-Man. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You got some nice sculpted detail. The actual crust is sculpted on the bottom, and you got like the cheese kind of dripping off the sides and the pepperoni. And you can take one of the open hands, and you can have him hold the pizza slice, which I think is really awesome. That's a really awesome accessory. Adds a lot of personality, a lot of different play options, display options, what have you. And all the accessories, all the articulation really allows you to be expressive with this figure, which I think is awesome. Now in terms of comparisons, let's see if I can stand them up here. It's relatively straight and look alright. So I'll compare them with some other Spider-Man figures. So here's a Spider-Man that was released, I think, not too long after this figure, or before, I'm not really sure, I don't remember. Here he's with the Superior Spider-Man, which uses the same mold. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then here he is next to a more recent Spider-Man figure. This is the true exclusive Spider-Man that came with Mary Jane. So it uses the same body mold as well, but it does not use the same head sculpt. It uses the same head sculpt as the Superior Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty cool. I do like this one a lot. I actually like the bright blue on this one quite a bit. But this one does have like the effects or whatever for the Parker Industries Spider-Man suit. So it's a bit more, not as generalized, I suppose. So I like this one. It works for any sort of display you want to go for. In any sort of era, really. And it's just a classic suit. So that's them. And then for some more comparisons, here is a figure on the Hyperion body mold. Spider-Man's significantly shorter. And then here he is with a much bigger, more on the lines of BAF size. Here's the recent first 10 years Hulk, and Spider-Man's significantly smaller. And I guess real quick, I also will show him off with a figure on the Bucky Cat mold. So here's Multiple Man just slightly taller. So I think that works well. That's a good scale. Overall, this figure's awesome. I think it is probably like the best Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure. General Spider-Man figure. I think if you can get your hands on it for a good price, then I'd definitely go for it. I was able to get mine for a retail price. But this figure, unfortunately, fetches pretty high prices online nowadays. He did get a re-release in the vintage collection wave of figures, but in that one he didn't come with any interchangeable hands. He only came with one whipping hand and one open hand, I think, and he came with the pizza and the unmasked head, but he didn't come with all those extra hands. So in my opinion, that one, the version's not as good, but it's still a pretty good version, so you could go for that one for sure as well and still get a pretty sweet Spider-Man figure. But yeah, if you can get this guy, highly recommend it. It's a really awesome Spider-Man. And once you get this Spider-Man, you pretty much don't need to get another one unless you want like one of the other different suits. So yeah, that's my review of the Pizza Spider-Man. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.